It's the Newberry News at M123 FM. Welcome back in on our Summer Park series. It's brought to you by Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and Renze Power Sports in Newberry. Dan Hardenbrook, glad to have you along as this week we take a trip back up to the Tahquamenon Falls State Park. It's our latest edition of Tahquamenon Tuesday. Big things happening up at the park recently as the Michigan Wolverines football team made their way through the area as part of their Our State 2022 tour. Players, coaches, and support staff with the University of Michigan football team paid a visit to the Tahquamenon Falls State Park. Coming up on this week's show, we look back on their visit. Kevin Dennis gives a presentation to the team members on the history at the park. Coach Jim Harbaugh joins me for an exclusive one-on-one interview at the Tahquamenon Falls Upper Falls Brink viewing area, and then takes the ultimate Tahquamenon River test with Park Supervisor Kevin Dennis. All that coming up on a special edition of this Tahquamenon Tuesday with the Newberry News and M123 FM. It is M123 FM and the Newberry News back with you on our Summer Park series brought to you by Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and Renze Power Sports in Newberry. It is a Tahquamenon Tuesday back at the Tahquamenon Falls State Park. Kevin Dennis is with us, and man, pretty exciting times up here at the park. Talking about the recent visit by our good old Michigan Wolverines. What an experience that was. We got to come out and follow them around. A lot of the people at the park got to stop and visit with them. For you, what was that experience like having them make this part of their big state trip?
Yeah, hi Dan. It was really an honor to be able to host the U of M football team, even if it was just for an hour and a half, as a part of their week-long trip throughout Michigan on their, culture trip, or what it would be called, through the state. And it was just a great honor to be able to be part of it, give them a little bit of park history, and then kind of be there to answer any questions they might have and whatnot as they went to view the falls.
Kevin gave that history presentation, which is coming up a little bit later in this episode. Interacting with Coach Harbaugh and with some of the players, how did you get a feel for how they were enjoying their visit?
I was really impressed, honestly, and not just saying that because I bleed maize and blue myself. They were a class act from top to bottom. They were very approachable, very friendly, very polite, really from top to bottom. And really, I thought that started with Coach Harbaugh. He was ready and willing to talk to anybody, all the park visitors, get their picture taken with them. Just a very well-behaved, top-notch, well-organized group, and I expected nothing less, but it was nice to see.
Did you ever think that you would have 150 Division I football players and support staff on the Brink platform over at the Falls?
I did not. I did not ever think that, and was happy that the Brink deck could handle it.
It held up well.
Yep.
I saw, it was pretty cool, a Wisconsin fan, a Purdue fan, and an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
All were just out enjoying their vacation and their visit at the park. And here come the Wolverines marching down the steps. Even they got into the fun a little bit. And like you said, just class acts visiting and interacting with everybody, especially the kids.
Yeah, especially the kids. They were very friendly to everybody, and even the ones like you say. I saw a lot of jerseys or garb from other schools, and these football players were very respectful, and they had a great time. They were laughing, joking, asking questions. Of course, they had to ask, why is the water brown? Of course, we got that, and went through all that with them, and yeah, it was a fun time.
As Coach Harbaugh would say, education, not all learning is done in the classroom.
Correct.
And they got a good lesson on river water with the bottle test.
They did. The bottle test was a big hit, and I was able to sneak peek here. You might show it, but I was able to corner Coach Harbaugh on that one as well, which was fun.
He did the bottle test, which we'll see too. The players, how'd they do on their Tahquamenon Falls 101 bottle exam?
They were about 50%. They were about 50% that got it right. So one interesting thing, I forgot the young man's name, one of the interior linemen, asked me if he could go refill the one that was the river water, dump it out and go to the river and refill it. I think he was trying to call my bluff, and I said, go ahead. Be careful climbing down from the deck there onto the ground.
We need you this fall.
Yeah, we might need you this fall. And of course his teammate says he doesn't have to jump down. He's just going to walk down. He was 6'8". So that was kind of fun.
That makes it easier.
Yeah.
So the recap of the trip in this week's edition of the Newberry News. Kevin, thought it was great that you and the staff were able to accommodate them, and always never know what you're going to see if you're up here visiting the Tahquamenon Falls State Park.
You don't. Keep your head up and on a swivel. You never know who or what you're going to see.
All right, coming up on this Tahquamenon Tuesday, Kevin visits with the Michigan football team and gives them some background on this week on the Tahquamenon Falls State Park here, and also puts Coach Harbaugh to the test on the river water at the Tahquamenon Falls State Park. Kevin, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dan.
Hi everybody, my name is Kevin Dennis. I'm the park manager here at the Falls, and on behalf of all the rangers and staff here, I'd like to welcome you to Michigan's second largest state park today. So welcome. There's got to be at least a handful of you that are trying to figure out how we say the name of our park. Who can say it? Tahquamenon. Tahquamenon. There we go. Rhymes with phenomenon. So there you go. The Tahquamenon phenomenon. Tahquamenon Falls State Park. So just going to take a couple minutes, give you a little history of the park, a quick rundown, and then we'll get you on your way so you can walk some lunch off and go see the falls. So this has not always been a state park. There's a lot of history here that dates way back to when the Native Americans inhabited the area. The Tahquamenon River, which runs right through the park and the falls are a part of, was a big part of Native American lifestyle and culture hundreds of years ago, both for sustenance, fish, game, gathering, all that stuff, shelter, but it was also used as a travel waterway to connect Lake Superior and Lake Michigan. So they would traverse the Tahquamenon River all the way up through the park here, what is now the park, to the headwaters, and then portage over one ridge and drop into the Fox River, which is part of the Lake Michigan watershed, and navigate their way to Lake Michigan. So it was sort of a shortcut for them back in the day, which is kind of a neat and interesting thing of how things used to work, travel on the Great Lakes. When Europeans settled the area, or started to settle and explore the area, they used the same. And they soon discovered that this area was rich in timber resources, so lumber, trees. And then, so when they sort of started inhabiting the area, the Great Lakes started being built, cities around the Great Lakes, Chicago, Milwaukee, all those kind of places. The lumbering really took hold here, and they actually used the Tahquamenon River as a highway for logs, it was called. So they would float lumber from the headwaters of this river all the way to where it dumps into Lake Superior, float logs down the river, over the falls to the river mouth, and then there was a lumbering mill that was set up just into Lake Superior that would mill the lumber into board feet, and then from there it went by ship all over the Great Lakes, and cities were built. So a lot of history in that regard here. Of course, timber is a natural renewable resource, but it doesn't renew overnight, and they kind of depleted that for a period of time, so that era kind of went away in the 1920s or so. So then the falls in this area sort of sat idle, and there was sort of a local push in the 30s to preserve the falls and make them open to the public, which they hadn't previously been. So the state of Michigan was able to purchase the initial 2,500 acres where this falls and the lower falls set in about 1942, and then in 1947 the Tahquamenon Falls State Park was born. with that original 2,500 acres. Fast forward to today, this park is 48,000 acres. There's 4 campgrounds, about 24 miles of water frontage on the Tahquamenon River, 30-some miles of hiking trails. I mean, it's really a recreation paradise when it comes to all that stuff, hunting, fishing, and we're even busy here in the wintertime. Snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, and snowshoeing are popular activities that take place at Tahquamenon today. But through all of that, the centerpiece of our park has always been the waterfalls. And you're here today to look at the upper Tahquamenon Falls, which is the largest waterfall in Michigan. It's actually the second largest east of the Mississippi to Niagara. So I think you'll enjoy it. It's 200 feet across with a 50-foot drop. When you're down there today, imagine what it was like when the logs were spilling over those falls and there was men down there with poles trying to, because they jam up at the base of the falls and they'd have to, I mean, it might be tough for a 4- and 5-star athlete to do actually. Roll on a log and get them stirred and get them on their way. It was a real hazardous pastime, but kind of neat to see that it happened here. So, gosh, with that, I'll kind of send you on your way.
I got a question, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
So I've heard before that Michigan lumber industry made more money than the gold rush.
Ooh.
And I also have heard that the iron ore mining also produced more money than the gold rush.
I'm going to fall to the park naturalist to see if Lisa?
Not just in this park, but I mean Michigan.
Yeah, in Michigan in general. Probably.
Lumbering, yeah. Iron ore, I'm not as positive.
Yeah,
The western end. But lumbering, I
I
wouldn't
heard
doubt it
that
at all.
on a documentary one time.
Not like
Like,
not Facebook.
that's
Once it
what I
wasn't
know, yes.
Facebook.
It wasn't Facebook.
Then yes.
I had some nods over here. You guys hear the same thing?
Oh,
Sure
yeah.
we did.
I know ore.
I'm a third grade teacher. We teach Michigan history. You're on.
Right on.
Yeah.
Go.
See, there you go.
More in the gold rush.
Yeah. Tahquamenon
Coach is right,
Yep.
as usual, right? Coach is right. Okay. Good question. Wish I had a more solid answer. So yes, on the lumbering, iron ore, and that's it.
We got a third grade teacher over here.
Yeah.
Get on So it's about a third of a mile walk. The path goes this way. You can see the other folks here today are kind of heading that way. When you get to the fork in the trail, take a right.
It's the Newberry News, M123 FM, and the EUP Sports Network. We're visiting with Michigan coach Tim Harbaugh here at the Tahquamenon Falls, part of Michigan's statewide tour. And coach, just talk a little bit about what this trip's meant for you and the guys and kind of building as a team coming into the season.
Yeah, the team bonding is incredible. Guys hanging out with each other, and even in groups they wouldn't normally. You know, offense or defense or special teams. Educational value is tremendous. All learning's not done in the classroom. You know, you got to get out there and see it. Experience today is beyond. I mean, it's just gorgeous out here. Beautiful, beautiful here.
You're a guy that played in the NFL, coached in the NFL, been to a college football playoff and a Super Bowl. You kind of get away from the hustle and bustle and get up here in the UP where things are a little bit slower, a little bit quieter. How does that feel?
It feels good. I was also going to say, yeah, just having fun, you know. But to your point, I mean, sometimes, just clear your mind before practice starts and the season gets underway. Not sitting around worrying about what's going to happen and counting down the days till practice starts. So that's been another benefit. It's just been a blast. Nowhere we'd rather be. And this is really breathtaking here.
Why was it important this year to make the team trip kind of closer to home in the state, touring in the backyard?
Yeah, it just made all the sense in the world. I mean, we were shut down from the travel abroad due to COVID. They wouldn't let us travel in 2021 or 20, and then even this year, when we're making the plans back in December, January, February, you still had to test to come back into the country. we thought that would be an issue. So I just had the idea of going around Michigan. I mean, there's so much to see here. Only 10 of our guys had ever been to the UP.
Okay.
And every stop along the way, Flint, Grand Rapids, Muskegon, Sleeping Bear Dunes, Mackinac Island, Drummond Island, Petoskey, Traverse City, Sault Ste. Marie, here, Shipwreck Museum. Everything's been a fabulous experience and learning experience for us.
Well, Coach, enjoy the rest of your trip. Thanks for visiting our area, and good luck this season.
We will. Thanks for having me on, and go Blue.
Go Blue.
The Summer Park Series continues all summer long as we visit our local state parks, both at the Tahquamenon Falls State Park and Muskellonge. Big thank you this week to Kevin Dennis, as always, for helping us out with the Tahquamenon Tuesday show. Also want to thank Dave Abloff. He is the Assistant Athletic Director in charge of football at the University of Michigan, for coordinating our coverage. Big shout out to the players and coaches who joined us during the visit to talk about their trip to the Tahquamenon Falls State Park. This Tahquamenon Tuesday and your Summer Park Series, as always, brought to you by Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and Renze Power Sports. Until next time, enjoy everything that our area has to offer. This has been Tahquamenon Tuesday, part of the Summer Park Series with the Newberry News, and M123 FM.